Hello and welcome to my channel. I've had this channel up for a little bit and I couldn't think of what to add to the knife community. You know, there's so many great reviewers out there and they do such a great job that, you know, I wouldn't really be adding that much to it. But I did come up with a subject about knife choils that I haven't seen a lot of people cover, and that's the forward finger choils. What got me to thinking about it was this Civivi Elementum. What I like about this knife is it doesn't look like it has a forward finger choil, but when you put your finger up here on this part of it, there's enough of a basically sharpening choil cut out up here that when your finger's resting up here, you're not really contacting the knife blade. The advantage of that is you can get a choked up position like this, but you're not sacrificing a lot of knife cutting edge like you are on this Civivi Backlash. Your finger fits in real well up here, but if you look at it, this looks like a much bigger knife, as you can tell. But as far as cutting edge goes, when we start lining up the pivot, we're getting closer to the end of the blade here, as you can see. But if you go to line up the actual cutting edge itself, because of the way this finger choil is done, we can get up to right up here, basically. This is not 100% scientific, but just showing you that the difference in cutting edge between these two knives is really only this much when you line up the cutting edge. So about 1/4 of an inch, or maybe a millimeter, 1 centimeter, I mean. So that's one way of doing a finger choil. This one feels really good in the hand. And what's the disadvantage to a choil like this? Well, really, most of us when we're cutting will tend to do a push down or a draw back cut. And in that case, you're not going to notice it. But if you happen to be pushing down and pushing forward and your finger was not in the choil, this part right here would just stop cutting when you hit that. With this one right here, you have a much smaller section of the blade that is being gobbled up. See over here, this one is like more than 50% of that circle is into the blade. And here's the Civivi Shard. It's similar, but you really have like only a little portion up here that is sticking up in the blade. Some different knives. This is a Gonzo FH71. The way it's working, it really just has a sharpening choil, but you have jimping here, and if you push up, as long as your finger doesn't go too far forward, you're going to start noticing, though, it's going to start bumping into this, and you're going to feel that sharp edge there. So it's not really a forward finger choil, but you can kind of choke up on it. The similar thing right here is this is a Gonzo F. Let me look at the number here. It's 727S, I think. Sorry, I bumped the camera there. Yes, this is the 727S. It is like the Rat 2 or Rat 1 in that there's not really a forward finger choil, but there's a place where you can rest your finger up here. And because you don't have any choil up here, you can cut straight down. This is a Sage 5 lightweight. The way they get around that is their finger choil doesn't even come into the blade at all. I mean, the cutting edge at all. It sits up here. So your material can cut right through there and never run into a finger choil. So there you go. I just wanted to show you, like I said, the thing that really surprised me was when you start comparing cutting edge compared to overall length. Yes, this one has a longer handle and fits hands better. I have a size 8 glove hand, so my hands are small to maybe medium size. And I have no problem with the Elementum getting 4 fingers in here. With a backlash, you know, my whole hand can fit in there with a little bit extra on the end. And when you choke up, you have a lot more sticking out. So for me, this extra piece of handle here is kind of like not necessary, you know, whereas this is more efficient overall for size. And the reason, like I said, I usually carry a small knife, like a 3-inch blade or less, and a larger knife, like a 3.5 or longer. This is, sorry, the guy just bumped into it. This is the Savivian Sight. It has the forward finger choil also, but it's like more than 50% of that is, about 50% of it is the choil. But this works fairly well, and you're not sacrificing too much. But like I said, I believe the Elementum did the best job. And again, here, if you start comparing cutting edge, the Elementum is not that far off, and this is a much bigger knife. So really what it comes down to is when you're cutting something, you know, when the metal meets the paper or the wood or whatever it is you're cutting. It's how well it feels in your hand and how well you can control the blade. And I do like a forward finger choil for more detailed work. And I think this is an excellent way of doing it. You're still getting a sharpening choil up there, but you're not gobbling up so much of the blade that you're losing a significant portion of your cutting edge the way you would with, I really love the way this finger choil feels though on the backlash. You know, my hand just fits in there comfortably, and you wouldn't have the issue with material cutting running into the choil if your finger's there. You know, I mean, it's just naturally, it's just going to cut and cut. So thank you for watching. I will try to come up with more content when I think I can add something to the discussion. But if you like that, this video, please let me know. I welcome any comments, good, bad, or whatever, you know. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.